So let's talk about the concept and the entire comprehensive uh, content of the one nation one elections. So recently we have seen there has been a debate going around the one topic, that is one nation one election. So now let's directly get into this topic. One nation, one election. See, central government has recently set up a panel headed by the former president Ramnath Kovind to see the feasibility of the one nation, one election plan. But beforehand, let's understand what is this one nation, one election plan. So, it is an idea of synchronizing the time of Lok Sabha and state assembly election to reduce the frequency of the poll. See, if you go back to the history, after the enforcements of the Constitution, 26 January 1950, first general election of Lok Sabha and all state assemblies conducted in 1951, in 1951-52, continued it continued till three subsequent Lok Sabha election till 1967-68 around. And this cycle disrupted in 1959 after Centre invoked Article 356, which is for the failure of the constitutional machinery. We'll talk about this later also, about the significance of Article 356. But this cycle election got dissolved since 1960. So currently in four states, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Odisha, uh, assembly poll are held together with the Lok Sabha election, which means that Lok Sabha election and the state legislative assembly elections are held together only in these four states. Those are Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Odisha. Now, coming back to what is this, what does the reports says regarding the one nation, one election? I hope you are clear regarding what is basically the one nation, one election plan, right? We'll talk about the advantage and the disadvantage sides of the one nation, one election also, and the controversy which is related to this topic. But before that, let's understand the report. See, there is a Law Commission of India which has analyzed the constitutional and the legal questions on the one nation, one election. And report says simultaneous election is not feasible within the existing framework of the constitution. Representation, which is Representation of the People Act of 1951, rules of procedure of the Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly would require an amendment, appropriate amendment for this. Now, see, the 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 advantageous side is that it saves the public money if it is implemented, removes the strain from the administrative setup and the security forces. There is a timely implementation. There will be a timely implementation of the government policies. Administration focus on the development activities rather than on the electioneering activities. So these are the certainly some pros sides of the aspects of this one nation one election plan. So let's say the constitutional provision now. See, Article 83 subsection 2 and Article 172 of the Constitution defines the tenure of the Lok Sabha and the State Legislative Assembly for the 5 years unless dissolved earlier. And in some situation it is dissolved earlier according to Article 356. Now let's understand this is one of the very important aspects, okay? Let's understand there are serious concerns which is associated with this concept, with this plan. See, foremost concern is the feasibility of this plan. See, number one, we'll discuss the three more serious questions. See, number one, what if the center and the state government is collapse in the mid tenure? Right, this is one of the very important concern. Will the election be held again, or the president rule will be imposed? So this is one of the very important concern, because this would ultimately require an amendment of the constitution, and not so requirement of the significant provision of the constitution, and not so extensively changing the situation on the various ground. It also sets up a precedent amendment of the constitution in the future also. So keeping that in mind, the next concern is idea of one nation one election plan does not fits in the square of the content of the federalism, which is which is established as a notion that the entire nation is one, contradicting contradicting article 1, which defines India as a union of states. And third is the present form of the recurrent election, present form of recurrent election, because see, central government poses an argument that the substantial cost here, what does the central government proposes is that it proposes an argument that substantial cost associated with the frequent elections, though this is a valid concern, but this does not suffice to the need of the hour, because this notion is misleading in some way. Because if you see the fact, Election Commission of India expenditure of the rupees 8,000 crore over the 5 years, which is rupees 1,500 annually. That is basically rupees 27 per vote per year. This is an expense of maintaining the pride of world largest electoral democracy. So this is an crux of the entire debate on the debate on the debate in the fur of one nation one election plan and against the one nation one election plan. So I hope this concept is clear to you. Thank you very much.